Hello there. Yeah, this is a whole new web development program tutorials that I'll be teaching you guys. So if you are watching this, welcome to our Django bootcamp complete web development. So in this bootcamp, I'll be taking you through how to create your own website, online ordering or online food sites which are being built based on the framework of Python called Django, and also you have Flash. But right now I'll be taking you to how to build your own Django web development. So alright, so back to our content, or back to our outline, what we need to expect. So these are the couples of outline that I've listed, a very few ones not to mention, but we will dive on as we go on. I'll be adding additional outline or content. So basically for the first week we'll be going, or for the time being, or say we'll be going to the introduction to Django installation, whether you're on Mac or whether you're on Mac Windows OS. We'll be doing our views, how we can create our own first Django app, how we can deploy it on the web. We will talk about templates, we talk about models, and here the models made database. Here Django has its own built-in database. You don't need any outside PHP, my PHP admin, SQL, or you don't need all those things. Django has its own built-in right there for you. We'll be diving on into Django admin, create super user. We'll be diving on into user authentication and authorization, RESTful framework API. We will start with the fundamental and dive on to the advanced ones. Okay, so without much ado, I want us to start with a bit of Python 3. Since Django is a built-in Python programming language, so you talk. I'll brief you about some of the method and function and built-in tools that Django requires from Python 3 to be able to run, or to be able to program with, or to be able to understand or program effectively in our Django website framework. So okay, so this is the introduction. A very few topic that we'll be covering on is, or are the setup, our environment, Python basic strings, control flow, loops. We will talk about lists, dictionaries, functions, OOP, which is object oriented programming. So these are few that we'll be covering. So I'm pretty sure that by the end of this we will be able to program in our own Django, use some of these tools that we will list here. We'll be able to program in our home, programming in our own Django, using the framework tools to build our own web pages, our own web-based apps. It's really going to be incredible. You don't want to miss this opportunity to learn and enhance on your skills. In fact, really Django is becoming one of the best framework when it comes to building web page, web apps. So I'm not wasting my time again. So let's start with how the installation will go. So first we will need to get our Python and our Django set up, our conda. We need to get all those things set up. So first we will need to install our Python. So we type Python to our web browser. We go to the first link. And this tells us you will get some of the documentations here, the downloads, the latest one that Python has really recently released, the community. They have the Discord, one of the interactive social media right now for any programmers is the Discord. You get a lot of questions. Post any question, any difficulties that you are really really getting hard to find or solve. You get a lot of answers, you get a lot of online live screen live session or class that people are doing, whether you want to learn Python, Django, Flash, or whether you are into cyber. You get all those things. So quickly, let's see how we can download our Python. So this is the give me a minute. So this is the most released Python version Python has bringing out. So you just click, if you are on Windows, you just click on it, and the website is the same for Mac OS. You just click, unless you are on Mac OS High Sierra, that one you need the version, I think, starting from 2019 before you can run on your Mac OS, starting from High Sierra to below or down. So if you're on Windows, just click on this one. I already have my Python installed. So we have our Python installed, and now we have to get our environment. In the environment, there are various versions of environment. We have VS Code, Sublime, we have Bracket, we have Atom, we have Python, which is actually the original IDE environment for Python. So let's just check it out. The original release, the original IDE, which is integrated development environment for Python. So this, when you get this download, this is where you set up your codes, you write your code, you write everything. It also supports what Django. It also supports, by default they have their built-in function that support what Django, but in this case we will download our VS Code for this. Yeah, you click on the first link, which, wow, this will depend based on your internet connection. Okay, so we have our VS Code site open, and if you are also on the Windows, you can download the latest version for Windows, but on the Mac you need VS Code from 2019 or 2018 going before you can run a VS Code on your Mac if you are on the Mac High Sierra. But if you're on the latest version of Mac OS, I think you can go on with the latest version of VS Code. So if you can, you also have to type the same link here on your Mac, and it will take you, your Mac automatically detect the DMG or the PKG that you need to download and install it on your machine. So when we have all these things done, it's time for us to do a quick introduction into what Python programming language. Like I said before, these are the content or the outline that we've listed here. I'm taking my time and explaining all these things here. All these things are going to be used in our Django web programming or Django web development or applications. Alright, so let's get started. First, let's open our PowerShell. Let me open my PowerShell. Okay, so this is my PowerShell open, and then I recommend you using PowerShell because yeah, PowerShell has a really a lot of command, a lot of Linux command or Mac command, since Mac and Linux have similar basic commands. and PowerShell also give you those kind of command. Example, ls. When you do ls in PowerShell, you'll be able to list all your directories in. Wow, you see that in PowerShell, but in command, Windows command, you can't do this unless you use dir. So I recommend you using PowerShell for this program or for this course. So you have our PowerShell setup. It's now fast to open our VS Code. So first, let's try to create our folder or create a file that to be open in our IDE for us to start building our small Python programming language that it will be needed for the Django web development. Like I said before, this is, don't panic if you know Python already. This is a bonus one for you. You can just pause and then wait or skip to where you find the actual Django web development or the framework and start learning, building your own application, your own apps you can use, you can deploy, show to your friends, show to everyone else there. But if this is your first time or you don't know much about Python, take your time as I walk you through with all the simple and then the built-in method and function and pattern really hard. So let's first cd on into our desktop. Since we will create our folder in our desktop, let's try what is there at our desktop. Okay, so we have all these folders on our desktop. So let us create this is a Linux command that if you want to create a folder, this is what you do. You do what? Make your directory, means you want to create a directory or thing like folder. So we want to create a folder in our desktop, so we do make directory and then we list the name that we want to use. So let us say Django framework or Django frame. We hit enter. Okay, so it has been created. So let us check. So we really see we have our Django framework. So let us cd into cd means change directory, meaning you want to move from one folder to another, jump from one folder to another. You want to go back, you just do cd dash, then you add double dots for you, it will take you back. But here's the case, you want to cd into our Django frame, you can just copy Django frame from here and then add it here like this. Then we do ls. We see that we haven't created anything in our Django frame right now yet. So let us try to open our VS Code that we just installed. And then after downloading it, the installation, I didn't talk much about it. The installation are simple. You just double click, it will take you just like you are installing a normal software on your machine or on your PC. So and then okay, all right, so let us try to open our VS Code from our terminal. To do that, we just type code space, then with this time with one dot, not two dots. When you add the two dots, it will take you back from your current directory to the another one. So we just do code space dots, we just hit enter, and then this will open our VS Code on our machine for us. It will directly open from our PowerShell, the current directory that we are in. We were in what? Django frame. Wow. So we now see that our Django frame is being open here. So this is where we will set up our environment, our Django, our first app, and get it started. So right now, let us try and get our Python basics understanding before we move on into our Django framework. So I just do Python dots, and then there's another thing I want to talk about extensions before we dive on into about extensions. VS Code doesn't come built in with Python. It's only used for CSS and then HTML, which are being used to create what web pages, or are being used to create UI on our machine. So these are the couples of what extension that I like to recommend. Just type, go to this side where I am, it will take you here, and then you just type here Python. It will bring you a lot of extensions that I will show a few or a couple ones for you to install. So you can try to install with the first one Python, and then the second one Python debugger. As you can see, I already have it. It's called disable or uninstall. Let's try the debugger too. I already have the debugger to disable or uninstall. So yeah, that is a simple built-in or a simple extension that VS Code will understand your code that you be what's downloading or you'll be programming it. Alright, let's move on to our current folder. So this is our current directory. Let us create a Python folder, and let us call this one basic.python. Hit enter. Alright, so the first thing on our list was what? Python what basics. So let us try to get our Python basics correct or right. So in this, Python is a very popular web programming language, which, like I said, you can check out some of the documentations online. Here you can find some of the documentation, how to get started, how you can run your own or start running Python programming or Python programs. It will show you a lot. Oh yeah, it's a whole lot. This is here. I also recommend another way to learn about things, because what I'll be doing is I'll be teaching you the process, taking you through the process, and then walking you how you can learn. But for you to get the concept after this course, it's really done for you to understand the concept. It's how you follow along. You make sure everything that you see or everything you heard, you just Google it with the documentation, just like Python, to give you all the understanding. Just like you want to search something for Python or VS Code like this, you just enter VS Code. They have a lot of water, and then they have a lot Python, for instance, to have a lot of documentation about how you can add or you can begin write your own Python, simple from basic to advanced, from basic to intermediate towards advanced. Here you will get all of the documentation right here with your Python. Python to also provide a lot of what built-in sense is designed specifically for the IDE of what Python. This is what the dev, we're talking about dev. You're using functions class, you're using the OOP in Django to model this what class. You're using all those ideas as model in what Django. So this course is really going to be exciting. I don't want you to miss just an inch of this video. Make sure you take your time and then watch any all the videos. You have any questions, you can also post or comment or send or join our Django bootcamp channel that I've recently created on what Telegram. Links will be added. You can join, ask questions, join the community. Let us all learn what together. I'm also a learner. I'm learning just like you are also learning. So let us try to learn from each other and build a very bright future. Okay, so enough for the talking. Let us dive straight into our Python. So we'll be talking about Python basics. That's what we'll be talking about. And then Python has a lot of built-in, a lot of verb, a lot of data types, just like we know in C or C++ or Java or JavaScript. We know of strings, int, floats. Those are the basic things. We know when we do int, it means what's number, or when we do strings, just like how this Python has strings for short str. It means what we just bring our query, our upper quotes. And then we just type anything here. Python will recognize it as what? As a string. So the first thing for us to do is what we can do a basic mathematics like what 2 plus 2 like this. We hit enter. Let us try to run it and see. First open your terminal like this, new terminal will pop up below at the bottom of your VS Code. So let me try and run it and see. Nothing runs, meaning this is trying to tell we just code this thing, but how this is a programming language. How do we tell our terminal? Right now our terminal doesn't know that this, we want to say that 2 plus 2. Python really understands this, but how can our terminal understand this too? Python has something called print. Python has something called print like this. Sorry, Python has something called print like this. This we are telling our terminal that, hey terminal, Python said that print for 2 plus 2. So let's check this one out. Try again. 4. We are where some we are getting right now. We are able to print what 4 onto our console. Yeah, we just get started. We have just started programming. Right now we have developers. We just printed with 4 onto our console. So let us try to do something like Python has something called variable like container that will keep something in it, just like we did here that, hey terminal or VS Code print for 2 plus 2. But Python, we can just group these 2 and 2 and then call it in our print functions for it to make it simple. Things can get blurred or bizarre when you want to add a lot of things like strings. Can contain lists. We talk about lists, we talk about arrays. All these things are data types that contain a lot of data. You can't just put all those things into our print function just like that. We need to group it, put it in a very smooth container. In programming we normally call it what? Variable. So let us try to assign a variable called what? A variable called what? fr equals what? 2. And then let's do this one to sr equals what? 4. So let us try and ask Python to tell the console that, hey print, I said print what? Print 2 plus 3 for me. So now we can do the fr plus the sr like this, and then we hit our terminal. We have what? 5 into our console. Yeah, we now just get started. We now have 5 onto our console. Let us also try to print what? Strings like this. So right now, just like I said, that string we put upperquotes. Right now you can see what? Hello world. Hello world like this. Let's try to print. Wow, we have 5 is here. We have hello world. Okay, so right now we just type or we just program our first what? Python application, which is what? Hello world. Wow, we are just getting started. So another thing I would like us to talk about, let us try and check our strings in what? Python. Just like I said, strings you just put what? Uppercut. So all these things are what we just we call it as basic what? Python basis. Something that you can do, like you can do 2 equals 2. We are trying to tell Python that, hey Python, is 2 equals 2? Is it possible? Is it true or is it false? Let us try and print and see. 2 plus 2. 5. It didn't give us anything. So let us try and print and see. 2 plus 2. It will come before after the 5. Let us try and see. 2 plus 2, true. Oh, incredible. So we are trying to tell and in this case we have something called boolean. Yeah, we talk about all those things. We have something called boolean, and boolean is what a true or false statement. So right now Python is saying, or we are telling Python that Python, hey, is this true that 2 equals 2? Is it true or is it false? And then Python tells our VS Code that print it for us, for our user to see that is it 2 plus 2 equals 2, is it true? And the reason why I'm using the double quotes means what? When I use the single quote, it's an assignment. I'm assigning it onto 2. Let us try to run this. I think we definitely get an error. We definitely get an error. We are getting error. That means we can assign a value in the print functions. So that's why we use the double equals, meaning what? We are comparing. So okay, so another thing for us to talk about, let's check our content, is what? Control flow. So control flow is something like what? Statement. It's whether if or it is else. Control flow in programming language meaning what? Conditional statement. We are trying to compare something that, hey, if this thing is really true, or if this thing is really inside this container or outside the container, just tell our user that, hey, what you are looking for isn't there. That is what we use something called if and else statement was control flow. So we try to say that, hey Python, if this is equals this, or if this is really true, let me see this, or else tell me that, hey my friend, this thing is not what inside what you are looking for. So let us try to use some of our the conditional statement. So this what we use is what? This is what? Basics Python. So this is how we do comments. Oh, sorry. This is how we do comments in Python. I'm using JavaScript. Sorry about that. This is how we do. This is how we do comments in what? Python. It's what? The asterisk. So this will be our control flow. Control flow, or the conditional. Sorry, the conditional statement. Conditional statement. Okay. So let us try to check whether if or else this thing is really possible for us to check, or really possible for us to see. So let us say we have a variable called what? PR, and then we just put what? A bunch of strings there like this, and then we also have another what? Another list called what? LI. So that one too, we will talk about lists later, so don't worry. But right now, just understand that list, you just pass in any data type that we want. You can just pass, and then it must be what? Unique. This is not like array that you can pass in multiple data types. This normally take only specific or one data types. So we are just we are passing on integers onto our list function. So right now, let us try to check this condition. So just like I said, we use our if statement. So we say that if li, so if li, or if li sorry equals everything here, let's say everything here. If li equals this, so print or another statement for us to use, just like I said previously. We use what the else statement. Oops, lambda really or else, and then else normally come as a default. We normally don't need to pass in anything, because right now we are telling Python that if this thing is real equals the list, this thing here, print here you are right, or else just say anything, just say print no, you are wrong, like this. So right now let us try to print our statement and see. Okay, yeah, so you are right. So hope you get that correct, right? Yeah, you are right. So getting started. So let's try to comment this one to out. Okay, let's save again. Then type. Yes, you are right. So let's print again. Okay, so right now you only have the if and a condition state. You have just commented the basics, the one that we just did. So yeah, yes, you are right. Meaning what? This thing is really what is true. And then there's something. So let us try to add something like something like, let's try to say something like, go to an empty list. We know that this is not go to an empty list. So let us bring this one and see. No, you are wrong. Yeah, so we are trying to tell Python is saying that we are saying that Python, if this list that we have here contains an order or an unorder of what integers here, is it true that this thing is really empty? Python is saying that no, you are wrong. So that means this thing is really not empty. And in Python we have something that we call index. So when Python start counting this thing in our list, Python will start counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Python will count it like that. Python will count it like 0, 1. So the first one, just like an ID, just like an ID like this. And then we have ID, we have our ID. We want to use what integers, and the integers we want to use what maybe auto, something like this, auto increment, something like that, like this, auto increment, something like this, you know, this. So we are trying to, Python is saying how this thing really counts, or how ID and ID in database really counts all the users. First start from 1. Python that really counts a list, or doesn't really count its values or variables or data types containing any data. Python start counting it from 0. So imagine you want to access some of the things that is really in this thing. Python will start counting it as what? Start counting from here as what? 0, 1, so 2 as now become what? 1. So let us try to get some of like index. That's how we get something from a variable. That's how we derive. We want to derive, or we want to take out some of the data or some of the information from the variable, a specific variable. So we just say, okay, if the index of 0 is really empty, okay, Python say this. If it is not, Python say this. So let us run and see. No, you are wrong. So that means that our index with the index 0 really what has a variable called 1, and these are the things that we really do. Okay, and then for us to move on, there's something I want us to call immutable, and what immutable strings are immutable. That means we can't add, or maybe we can't just get assuming we are saying A is equal to hello, and then we say what B also is equal to Sam, is equal to Sam, like this, hello Sam, and then we want to or let's say it's a list like this. And then the first one is what so don't forget your uppercase. You say what Budu like this. So we want to this also start counting like what, this is a 0, this is 1, and then we also want to do something like say move this thing from here and then add this thing over there. So we try to do something like a variable like s is equals to something, say a variable, say a, we know this is 0, so this is 1, so we know it's 1 like this, and then we try and see x is equals to what, b. So now let's b, so let us print x and see. Looks like nothing happened. Let me try one more time and see. No, you are wrong. We have Sam. So we are trying to say that if B like this is really equal Sam, we are trying to say x is an index of this thing, and then you are saying index of 1, you place it with what must be equal to what, C, the B, which is the Sam here. It's really what prints what Sam, I think. So let us try let's really try what's what I said here. So Sam like this, and let's say A index of what, 0 is equal to what, B. So let us print A and see this way. I think the error comes. Oops. So it's really skip, Python skip this side and give us what, A straight ahead, meaning what, there's no way we can say that we want to mute or we want to add, or unless concatenation we use another method, we use a different space, just like we will say A now plus what, B, so this one will add it, or we use the index, so maybe we say A index of what, 1, we concatenate it with what, B, which is Sam, and we print it, it will what, Budu what, Sam. But for us to do it straight ahead, just like, let us try another thing, like here, say Sam, and let's print again and say Sam what and what, Budu. Okay, so we've now what, change the index of what, the hello here onto what, onto this side. So okay, so this another way. We have what, we have another way of, there's something called append or something called replace. So now if we replace the hello with a what, with Sam, so let us try to do a concatenation and see if really list as list here, or list containing strings, will add another thing like Sammy, or will add another strings onto it and see. So first of all, I'm taking my time to make sure you understand this thing. So whenever watching this video, if you don't understand anything, make sure you post it, or make sure you add onto the comment section, and I will get the answers right to you. Or you can just Google it. There are plenty, some like Stack Overflow, plenty answers that people are giving. Maybe your question that the question that you want to ask, or the question that you have has been asked by someone else already. Answers have been provided. Everything can be found on the web. So let's try to run this one and see. Here is where we get what it can only concatenate lists, not what strings. So it's what we did here. We try to remove this thing and put it there, and then we want to try another way of what. Right now we don't want to remove this thing, and we want to add it onto this one like this. So right now we will have something. So we have something like what Sam, like this. We want to add it, and when doing this, Python tells us that hey, concatenate list only. There are something that we can't concatenate, or we can't join into strings. We can't join unless they have the same data types. But list don't support these things. But there are some other issues or other topics that I think for now I can't tell, but I'm sure that you can just we will just talk about a few topics about that later. That will be a later on in this video, or maybe when we get started with our Django, I'll just come back again and then add those videos back again onto it. So right now let's quickly see again another thing called loops. We have lists here, just like I talked about. So you add the loops and then the list together. So loops also means what? Loops means going through something continuously, or going through something, or iterating through something, iterating through a list number of times. And then with loops too, there are something we are going to learn, which is called what? For loop and while loop. Those are very popular built-in method of function, built-in technique that Python really have, and for you to do or look through a list so easily. You can just do manual, but I bet you this is very complex for you. But by default, Python has really a built-in type that can do all this stuff for you on a simple go. So let us try to on our for loop. Let us try to use on our loops. Let us try to use for loop and see. So this is how we do it. So for something in something, so we can say that for a, and then this thing for which comes after the for, you can just use a, you can just use anything. Why? You can just use a name like Sam, you can just use like Pat, anything that you want which comes after the for. So right now let us use something called s. S in what? Let us try to look through this list. We have a list what? I like this. So let's get back. We are trying to tell Python that hey, for li in this thing, in this list, li in this thing, please look through this thing and print all these things on our console. Print it in what? In order for us. So this is how we do it. We look through, we go through all these things and print it right onto our console. And this is the formula, or this is the method that we use, the for loop. So right now we just print what? X. So if you might want to call it, say you can use your name, any name, your school name, house name, your school, the school that you attend, anything that you want to use, you can just use it here. But for short, I'm using X. So let us try to run this thing and see. run again. Machine is delaying. Okay, seems like the first fault. Just comment this thing out. Just comment. And again. So machine is delaying. It's like the fault is still there. Delete it rather and see. Don't know why my machine is running slow. Okay, so we have it here on the go. No, you are wrong. This comes from the face. So let us try to comment this session to here. What just happened? VS Code. Okay, so let's run it again. Run fast, run fast, run fast, please. All right, so here we have looked through all the lists up here. We went through all these things here and was able to print for us onto our console 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is how powerful you can look through any list. And in Django, you will be looking through a lot of lists. You might have a large number of data that you want to pass on to your website. In fact, you want to look through all those data and see that what the users are looking for is there. If it is there, give them this. If it is not there, maybe you want to create a food order online. So a customer can request for a food. Customer can request for a food, and then food like customer can request for a food like let's say fufu. So you try to say that if fufu is really there, say that what type of fufu do you want? If food isn't there, oh no, try what's different thing like that. So these are the basis. So I think Django 2 will still be going through all these things here, and then I'll be taking my time explaining this thing that I'm giving out for the sake of those who are just new onto Python. But like I said in the video earlier, if you're already familiar with Python, you can just pause the video or move or start watching the real Django web development video. So let me try to comment this side and then do a comment like while loop. So the while loop also works similar to what's for loop, but while loop runs unless the condition is what's false, unless the condition really don't unless the condition is what has ceased, the condition don't exist again. So let's say our I is equal to 0, so 0 like this. So we say while I is less than or equal to, let's say 10 like this. We want to print what? We want to print I like this, and then let's print this thing and see. You notice something here. This is going to run really run unless you interrupt, you use a keyword to interrupt. So let me just scroll and see. See, this is really, whoosh, I don't know how many seconds this thing is running, but this is running really fast, really fast. So we are saying that I is for 0, and we are saying while I is lesser than 10, print I. So we are trying to tell Python that Python now know that I it was 0, like this. So since I is not equals or lesser than, or is not equal to, but at the same time it's really less than 10, it's going to print a whole lot of this thing, unless we add something called what I, like this, equals what 1. We're trying to say that, hey Python, really we know that I is 0, and we know that I is less than 10, but we are saying that print I, don't print only the 0, start adding it 0 1 0 1 until it's able to reach what 10. So to interrupt this thing, let's oh man, this thing is running really fast, more than Tesla cars. So we use Control C to interrupt our program. So let's use Control C again. You see, keyboard interrupt. So we're able to stop. And then let us try to run our options again. Let us run our options again. Okay, here we are, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. So just like what list, but list, you see, list was given onto us like this, but while loop wasn't given onto us. We just, so this is kind of cool. We just derive all these things with just a very 4 lines of code, whereas the for loop, unless the code is given, the list, the numbers are given onto you before you just run onto it. But with while loop, we have been able to just create our own numbers, just print the numbers that we want to print. So you can just change this side as many as you want. You can make it what 100, and it will just print it for you like this. So whoosh, this run a lot faster. Hey, I don't know how many times this program takes to run, but you just type in just faster. So here we are, 100 for us. Okay, so like I said, maybe as we move on to our Django framework, we'll be talking about, or we'll be talking a lot about all these data types, all these methods, all the functions that we're using. When we start diving on it, we'll be talking a lot more. I'm walking you through small about HTML, CSS. You can use to stylish our Django web framework. So this is gonna be cool. You don't wanna mix by one rather. So let us check another. So dictionary. I love dictionaries. So let us comment this thing. Let's move like this. So we now have our dictionaries. Experience is right dictionary. So dictionaries are very powerful data types. They contain a lot of information that which there is to key and values. So in dictionary we have something called keys and what values that we can use to get. You can use to get what key was there, or if this key was there, what was the value that assigned onto. And we'll be using these keys, dictionaries, very often in our Django framework. We'll be passing on into as what context, context onto our onto our render HTML response, so that it will be printed onto our website. So like I said, we're really going to seeing a lot of all these things. So this, I'm just taking my time, making you know, be aware of all these things that we'll be using. But as we dive on and go on, we'll be using all these words, all the data types, all the verbs, all these everything here. We'll be using it, or we'll be seeing it in our Django framework, since there's a Python web development framework. So let me have something like list 1, and then to pass in Python dictionary, both the keys and then the values must, both the keys and the values must contain uppercase like this. So let's say name, semicolon. Let's say but name is what king form, and then we do a comma like this. We think name. So as you watch, if there's an error if there's an error, see VS Code automatically detects, or just inject it with a small red color there. It prompts, which is supposed to tell you that hey, there's an error. You see like this here, I haven't passed anything, but there's a red color here. It tells you like, hey, do something about it here. So as you program, then you'll be watching all this kind of things. So let us do name, let us do age. So I'm passing out integer, it doesn't contain any codes. Let me try age. Let me do age like what, 12 or 14. Let me age. I can also do something like school, like this. School like this. So let me pass on school. Which school am I supposed to? So press B, A, B, C. So let's do this type to do our list. As we go on, we'll be dealing with complex list in our Django programming language. So I have my list, I have my data. So I want to get something like I said, we have something called keys, we have something called values. So in dictionary, so I want to get something like so let me see my list. My list 1, I want to get I know that I have name, so I want to get the name that I'm using. So now let me print my list 1 and see my list 1 and see what I really have there. Just really print our whole list for us. Okay, so alright, so we're able to print our list here. So this is our list, the name, Kung Fu, age 14. So this kind of like a data type, a database. Yeah, you see, it has able to give us a database which the data or the names information that we store on our database. Python has able to work as a dictionary to us, and then it's not a database, by the way, it's just a dictionary. So let us try to get only the first name, which is the Kung Fu. So let me just assign it to a variable called P, and then let me pass in the P and see what I'm supposed to get. Kung Fu, amazing. Hope all these keynotes, all these syntax and schematic are being kept. We are taking note of all these things, and then don't worry, if you are new to it, it will take a bit of time, but as we go on, as we learn the Django, we come across all these kind of things, so it will keep on refreshing our memory or in our mind. So we get what the application of what kung fu here. So let us now try to get our we have something called 14 like this. Let us see to get something. Let's see what 14 will give us. Oh, error. And then dictionary by default we can't print keys, we can't print values. Anything we pass into our dictionary, just like we pass this name, dictionary is going to look to only the keys. The keys are the first one here. This is the key, and these are the values and the values. So anything just pass you to Python, just cross check everything here, the keys, everything here, and see if really what you passed into really is here, and then Python will bring out the values which is here for us. So in order for us to get the values, we have something that we can do. So you can just do something like dot get, which is our function. We just pass in our value like this 14. Let us print and see. Oh, none. Amazing. So let us try to do dot values like this. Let us pass to first. Let's try dot values and see the values that we get. Okay, so these are the values. This underscore values. So these are the values that we have in our house, in our dictionary. Python has able to print out the values like this in this. All these things are values. Python has been able to, and then it gives us what tuples. And then we haven't talked about tuples. I didn't add tuples because really this is getting interesting, because in tuples, and I don't think we'll be using tuples in Django. It's hard. I don't think we'll be using tuples in Django. That's why I didn't really add it. But tuples are also like lists. There's like a list here, but we only change the square bracket to what, like this square bracket to the actual bracket, or the actual bracket. Yeah, actually this is not a bracket, this is a parenthesis. Yeah, we change the square bracket to parenthesis like this. That is tuples. So since Python returns tuples, we can if we just come across tuples again, we'll be looping through tuple since it is returning this. By the way, this is not a Python, like a Python bootcamp. This is just a Django. So I'm just taking you to the basics that we'll be using, the basic knowledge we're using Python in our Django web development. So you can just try tuples on Django, on a Python web page. So you can just type something like tuples in this Python, just enter, and this will bring out a lot. So I recommend doing this thing. I recommend to you. I normally do this thing a lot. And if I just heard if I just I just come across any programming techniques, programming idea, programming and built-in method and functions, any built in data types, I just do a documentation. You just any programming language, just like JavaScript, get a whole bunch of JavaScript documentation, how you can go about, how you can do the setup. You can get a whole lot of all these things on Google. I don't know why this is skipping, since my internet is really running slow. Ghana and internet. Finally Python tuples are tuples of data structure. That is very similar to this. The main difference between the two is the tuples are what? Immutable. So just like I said earlier. I like the word immutable. So just like I said earlier, lists are not immutable because you can't just add lists. You can't just add something to a list. But in tuples, we can just like by saying we just assign. So just like we just assign something like I equals what, a list like this, and then we say we say a like this is equal to hello like this. Python is saying we can't just add this thing, combine this thing together, but with tuples like this thing, tuples like this, we can just bring them all together by doing the print function, like this, and then passing all these things I and the a onto our function. It will automatically add it onto what, our tuples like this. So these are kind of a way ton of ideas how you can just cross-check anything that you want to learn about. So that was it. By the way, you can do a lot more on your own by doing a lot of research on the specific course that you are interested in. So let us move on to our programming language. So okay, where were we? A dictionary. So let us try to, let's say a dictionary like let's say it's supposed to be a string rather to ABC. Okay, ABC was inside like this. So that will run and see. Oops, takes no arguments. Okay, doesn't take any arguments. So let's do the get. And let's run and see. Let's wait at least one argument. Okay. And pricing our praise. What's praise was what? So like this, not like this. Place the space. Then we do our ABC like this. Okay. Let us run and see. None. It's still getting us none. I just want us to get a specific, like specific values for this. Okay. So you can do what, school, and do school like this, and run and see. Good. So we get keys like this. So this is another way for us to get our values using the first one we used, and we just passing on a list like this. A list one, we just use the index. If you could remember, I said how we can get so by this also runs 0, 1, 2. So these are all index, how you can get information using indexing it. So indexing in Python also comes with by using our curly bracket like this, and then we pass in information like this, just like we did previously. We just add, and then add the edge here like this. So another way to, okay, let me delete it. Another way to use the dot keys to get what our passing our keys and get our print statement right what running. Alright, so let us check another functions. Okay, so we now move on to our functions. So like this. Functions, and just like we all know, functions is able to to calculate or function is able to do or complete an amount of specific tasks to avoid dry. We have something called dry in our programs. Means we don't need to be repeating codes in when we are programming. So a way more to organize it is by using functions and what OOP. But right now we're talking about functions, how you can use functions. The OOP we'll be using class models, just like we'll be using models. Actually we're using the models in our Django framework, but in OOP is more for classing, objects, inheritance, those kind of things. We'll be using all this inheritance, we're having this word inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, all these words in our Django framework too as we get started. But right now let us talk about functions. Just like I said in the PyCharm IDE, Python function, just like in other programming languages, you just initiate of functions like this. But Python initiating functions come with what def like this. And then we just pass on any name that you want to use. Any name. You can use the snake casing, the camera casing. The snake casing is by using all caps separated by what? Separated by underscore. Camera casing. So something like a snake casing can be what? Snake underscore case. Like this. This is a snake casing. And then camera casing too is by the first one supposed to was camera and the second one with so the second one is with a capital what letter like this. So let us go with camera casing, and then just like we normally know in functions, with this parenthesis we can just pass in with arguments, you can just pass in parameters, you can just pass in anything that you want for us to be, for it to tell Python that hey, this function should be accepting an argument of the number of things that we'll be just passing on into. But with this function we'll be talking about the arcs, the double star and then the single star like this. Double star and the single star. So we're using these things a lot in our Django program. We're seeing all these things a lot in our Django program. So in case you don't understand, you don't worry, as we dive on into our Django framework, we'll be coming across all these kind of things. So let me delete it. So I won't pass any argument. So this function I'll just go. So I just pass in something like welcome to the Django bootcamp. So I can do this multiple times. I can develop it. So and then after you have done this you have done all these things in just like we also know, we just have to call our function, because how can Python know that hey, this is what you want the function to do? So after this, hey, you tell Python that hey, this is a function and you are calling it. When Python see the calling, Python will recognize that indeed this is a Python that you are calling. Since we did not add passing any argument or parameters, we just leave it like that. We save it and run. Amazing. We just have our welcome to the Django bootcamp develops. Here it is. That's how we pass in our functions. So let us try to do a complex one, like we just want to do a number one, pass in number one, and then pass in number two, a simple mathematics that we are passing out today. And we're passing what? 4. It's okay for us. So like this. So we want to do a simple more. There's something we call what's with 10. We also have something called with 10 in Python like this. 10. And this with 10s, you tell the IDE that hey, Python says return this number of things onto our console. We are returning the specific information, and then we need to assign this thing. Return enable us to just assign this thing into a variable for us to do more without our function. So let us try to return our num1 plus our num2 plus our num3 plus our num4 like this. So we want to add all these things together, and then by doing it, just like I said, we are passing the parameters an argument onto this thing, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we make sure that the number that the data, the information that we pass in are supposed to be what? 4. So we can just say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like this. Save, and let's run. Oops. Camera casing takes 4, 5. Amazing. Let us run and see. Oops. What went wrong? No data was given. So just like I said, with return function, return is able. Return enable us to just assign this thing to a variable for us to do more with it. So right now, let us assign this to what? A result like this. So let us print out our result. Print out our result and see. Oops. Thank you, Lord. Amazing. Here we are. We have what? Our 30. So right now, we're able to return with what? Functions. So we're able to do done a calculation with this function. So right now we have this function. We can just call this function wherever we need. We can we can just have another function here. Call this function to do the mathematics for us. Pass on our for loops, while loops onto the function, loop through the number, and when it is done, looping through the number, do the calculation for us. We pass into this number to do the calculation for us, to print onto our console, onto our console. So like I said, we'll be doing a lot more of this thing. We'll be using a lot more of this thing, but I just want to introduce you onto all these things, all this stuff. So don't worry if the understand is not really coming. As you start the Django development, you come across all these tools, all these names, all these data types. So another thing for us to talk about is let's see, another thing for us to talk about is the OOP. Finally the OOP. Finally we are just getting started, the OOP. So let us try OOP. The OOP, a very powerful topic, very powerful in programming. Just like all know Java is what an object-oriented programming languages. Python also has all these things. C++, to C, C#, they're all object-oriented programming languages. Python also has its built-in types, object-oriented programming, which we call class, using what? Class objects. Just like other programming languages, Python by default, Python has 8 objects OOP, none as all what default or as what public global. You can just call it by using our another class that we just added, another class that maybe you just add it in the same inheritance page. So enough talking, and let us dive into our OOP. So like I said, OOP will be using what the class method like this. So you want to say class animal, and then so let us watch how we name our class like this. We name our class like class animal. We name it as we have named it here, like a class. The first and the class name start with the capital number. When you start with a small number like this, it will be a function. So a capital number. Alright, so the first thing to do is what? A def. And then the def, this one we don't pass in a function, we just do that dash in it like this. VS Code has already dictated for us like this. So the self here tells us that we are in this init function. We are in this function right here. It tells us that these are the directory that we are currently in. This video is really getting long. Okay, so we just do a quick around here, and then as we start or we dive onto our Django framework, we talk more about our application or our built-in data types. So let us, so by this was we run this thing to run. Since the pass is here, it's will run because it's supposed to run. I assume you just move the pass for me. I think there'll be an error. She expecting, and then yeah, that's an error because the pass we're talking about what all this in pass break continuous as we dive onto our Django web development. So I say and I advise us to watch every video from step to step. If you already have idea about the video that you're watching, just do a quick or about 10 seconds you just follow the video for about 10 seconds. You get to that side, you know, or you already know what I'm just teaching. You just do a quick of 10 seconds, and then when you get to the actual part that you want to learn, and then you just start learning. So just like I said, as this video is getting long, we'll be diving on into our class as we dive onto our Django development bootcamp. We'll be talking about models, we'll be using class, we're talking about dictionaries, all those kind of things. So we have been able to finish our brief one onto our Python introduction, onto our Python programming language. So this is a bonus for us. This wasn't added, but this is a bonus for us. So thank you for staying tuned. Just like I said, like and subscribe onto the channel. There's some more tutorials coming on. We'll be diving into a whole lot of web application, mobile app, a whole lot of stuff. So let us share the link, let us share to our friends, let us make it known onto our friends, let us like, comment, and then share. Get interactive.